Quicken Simplifi can get overshadowed by popular competitors like YNAB or Rocket Money, but the reality is it's one of the most comprehensive budgeting apps available today. In this video, I'll explain everything you need to know before signing up, because honestly, there are a lot of awesome aspects, but there are a few shortcomings you're going to want to know. So today I'll cover an overview of Simplifi, explain how it works, and then cover the main pros and cons. By the way, if you're new here, this is Feasible Creative, where we help you unlock financial freedom. For those who don't know, Simplifi was developed by Quicken, which is one of the most well-known personal finance software companies that first started out in the 1980s. Over time, it's evolved its product offerings, which includes Quicken Simplifi, our main focus in this video today. To be clear, this is separate from the Quicken Classic products, which generally have a more traditional category-based budgeting system. Simplifi, on the other hand, is considered a more streamlined version with a simpler UI, and it uses an automated spending plan approach for budgeting, which we'll explain later on in the video. There are two main ways to create and access your account, and the first is a mobile app available for Apple and Android users, and the second is a web app which you can actually download as an application on your desktop or just use online. Similar to most budgeting app offerings, Simplifi costs money to use. But there are two good things to understand about the pricing. The first is that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. This basically says you have 30 days to try out the product, see if you like things, and if you don't, you can reach out to Quicken, get a refund, and move on with your life. The second is that it's one of the cheapest options available today, currently about $6 per month. If you're thinking about trying Simplifi, make sure to click the affiliate link in the description where you can see if there are any discounts going on right now. And you actually follow this link to sign up for Simplifi or any of the Quicken Classic products. Now let's take a closer look at Simplifi and see how it works. The setup is standard. You enter your basic account details and whatnot, and then you're going to want to make sure to connect your bank accounts, credit cards, and any other financial institutions into Simplifi. This is probably the most critical part because once you connect your accounts like this, everything really flows from this financial data. Starting off here, we have the dashboard view, which is really a standard function of pretty much any budgeting app, but it's a great way to see a summarized view and a quick snapshot of your financials. For Simplifi itself, in the top left corner, you can see your account section, and this will calculate your net worth, looking at your different checking accounts, savings accounts, your credit card balances, if you invest, any brokerage accounts, any 401ks, retirement accounts, and ultimately calculate your net worth looking at total assets minus liabilities. One good thing is that this is fully customizable. You can drag and drop different sections. At the top, I have my spending plan, which is basically just my budget, different bills and income in this section. And then if you're an investor, you can look at your holdings. You can see progress by percent, by total gain, total loss. High level, just a quick snapshot of where you are financially. Next up, we have transactions. And this is where it becomes important that you've connected your bank accounts and your credit cards, because all of the money you spend, all of the money you earn, everything flows into this view here. You can see the accounts, the dates, the payee, the category, the amounts, a great way to track your spend and your income throughout the month, throughout the year. Next up, we have the spending plan, which in all honesty, I thought this was a little bit confusing at first, but at a high level, this is just your budget. When you go into the app, it'll actually automatically set up a spending plan for you based on your recurring income, your expenses. But you can also go in here and modify things as needed. On the left, you'll notice these three sections which you can click into, but starting out with income after bills and savings, basically starts out with your income, your paychecks, and however money flows into your account. Then from there, we have bills, and these are things that are pretty much life essentials like rent, utilities, expenses that you can anticipate every single month, some of which are fixed, some can be variable, but those will be found there. The next section is subscriptions. This is more so for your Spotify's, your Netflix, your gym membership, where in reality you can cancel these, but they're also a recurring bill. Then we have the transfers and credit card payment section. This essentially has a zero impact on your net worth. It's for things, for example, like moving money from one bank account to another. So more times than not, you don't have to include anything here. And then we have savings goals, which I'll cover next, but this looks at if you have something you're looking to purchase, like a house down payment, a car, pay for a wedding. Now this section goes income minus bills, minus subscriptions, minus savings, and then you're left with income after bills and savings. Next up, we have planned spending. And this is where you can put your more so variable spend items, where they can be one-offs, like maybe you have a vacation coming up this month or in a few months in the future, or for even monthly expenses, but they're more variable like groceries, gas, where the amount you spend can fluctuate month to month. You can go in here though, type in your target, the amount you expect to spend, and if it's something you've paid for in the past, Simplifi can give you a quick estimate of your historical data to give you a realistic number you should try to hit. So for me, I have $400 for groceries, I have $175 for restaurants. As time goes on, you're spending money, transactions are flowing in, you can track your progress versus these targets. Then we have other spending, which gets populated throughout the month when expenses and whatnot pop up that aren't currently part of your spending plan. At the end of the day, we have income after bill and savings, minus planned spending, minus other spending, and then we have our overall available balance. The next section called savings goals is, as I mentioned, this is where you can set up for maybe you want to buy a house, buy a car, pay for a wedding. You can go in here, click new goal, set that up, You can set a target date, a target amount, and track your progress as time goes on. Another section called Retirement Planner is a high-level calculator that shows you an estimate of where you could be based on your inputs at retirement. So you can type in your age, your current investments, your anticipated year of retirement. No one can predict this, but it's a good way to see where you're kind of headed based on these projections. This is probably one of my favorite sections. This is bills and income. I like this because it gives you a calendar view of your income, your paychecks, any bills you have, and you can better understand the timing of things and the flow of money throughout the month. The next section called investments is awesome if you have multiple investment accounts with different financial institutions. So for example, if you have a Vanguard 401k, a Fidelity brokerage account, you can aggregate those all together and see this comprehensive view in this section. And I like it because you can see your holdings, whether you have Nvidia stock, Apple stock, you can see your gains or losses for the day. It's really helpful if you want to track your overall investment progress. Next, we have the spending watch list. You can take a specific segment of your budget that you're trying to pinpoint or drill down into. For example, I have groceries outlined here where prices have been going up and I've had some different events and whatnot. So notice I'm spending a little bit too much on groceries. So I've added this to the spending watch list. It's a good way to hold yourself accountable for a certain category that's standing out as an outlier as a spend item. The last section is called reports. And this is where you can see different charts and whatnot to track your financial progress. There's things like a spending pie chart. You can look at your net income, your savings, your net worth. There's a monthly summary that's helpful, credit score tracking. Basically anything you can imagine needing in a report is available here. Next, I want to cover some pros that you'll want to consider if you're looking at trying out Simplifi. Quickly before that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to help this channel continue to grow. First up is the UI and the UX. It's really a clean, modern interface. If you're somebody who prefers to use a desktop, you'll have no problem trying out the web app version. You can also use a great mobile-friendly experience if you're somebody who's more so on the go and wants to track your finances on your phone. Secondly are the updates, and the Quicken Simplifi team seems to actively listen to user feedback, and they continue to make these enhancements as time goes on. You'll notice new updates roll out pretty consistently, and it'll be things that users have asked for or bug fixes, and it's good to see that this isn't a stagnant app. It's truly something that's ever evolving. While no app is perfect, the team is responsive and clearly focused on trying to make this app as great as possible. Next is the investment tracking feature, and this is one of the standout areas that I really love about Simplifi. In my own life, I have multiple investment accounts with Vanguard, with Fidelity, and this was requiring me to go into these different apps every single day to track my progress. But with Simplifi, you can aggregate all of this information, bring it into this one app view, and then I can see any gains or losses, understand related news, and get a better pulse on the overall financial markets and my current position with my portfolio. Lastly, we have the reports section. This is definitely a standout feature of this budget app. In all honesty, it's almost overkill. There's virtually any type of report you can think of, from spending to net worth tracking. So if you're somebody that doesn't like necessarily looking at numbers, super granular details, you can see these more comprehensive reports, these charts, and it could be a good thing to consider. As much as I like to highlight the good and the pros of these financial products, there are always some cons to consider. So let's check those out next. First up is a syncing issue. This is something that is pretty rare, but on some occasions, there will be certain financial institutions that simply cannot connect to Simplifi. This actually happened to me for one of my more niche 401k accounts. It's not supported, I can't connect to Simplifi, so I have to track this balance separately from my overall financials. This is fairly common across other budgeting apps. It's not unique to Simplifi, and it's really seems to be an issue more so with the financial data aggregator versus the budget app itself. Secondly, we have a learning curve. It's definitely a lot easier to understand and learn Simplifi versus YNAB, for example. I found YNAB to take a lot longer to grasp. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit more challenging to understand how Simplifi works versus something like a basic spreadsheet. Especially with things like the spending plan, you'll likely have to do a little bit of independent research, test things out for yourself until you feel fully comfortable using it for your budget. Lastly, we have the subscription fee. As mentioned, like most popular budgeting apps, it's not free to use. One of the benefits of this option though is that the price point is relatively low, especially when compared with competitors. Also, there's no free version, but there is the 30-day money-back guarantee where you can get your refund if you find out that you actually don't like how things work. If you don't have money to spend on a budgeting program like this, I recommend you click the first link in the description to download my completely free budget template. Let me know your thoughts on Quicken Simplifi in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch this one next.